Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new episode of TEW 2020 WWE here. And Judgment Day has been and gone, and our attention immediately must turn to Elimination Chamber happening in 2 weeks, 2 episodes time. The fallout from Judgment Day to be felt, especially with those big Royal Rumble winners, WrestleMania announcements. Go watch it now if you haven't, because obviously spoilers and plenty in this video. At Judgment Day, Kyle O'Reilly announcing he will be facing Adam Cole for the WWE title, and Ronda Rousey announcing she'll be fighting Shayna Baszler for the Women's Universal title. The fallout from those decisions sure to be monumental. Ronda and Shayna, part of the 4 horsewomen of MMA. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, of course, of the Undisputed Era. It's going to be felt this week, next week, and beyond to WrestleMania, post-WrestleMania. It's hard to say how long this will be felt, but it's going to be felt. And so without further ado, let's get into that fallout from Judgment Day and that beginning to build up towards Elimination Chamber with, of course, Monday Night Raw. And Monday Night Raw gets underway with the Women's World Champion Sasha Banks coming down to the ring, and Sasha is happy. She says she beat Kairi Sane at Judgment Day just like she said she would, because Sasha Banks is the pinnacle of not just women's wrestling, but wrestling period, in WWE, out of WWE, all over the world. No one can go toe to toe with Sasha Banks, because Sasha Banks is the blueprint, the best, and the boss for a reason, and she is the Women's World Champion for that reason as well. And Drake Maverick, the general manager, comes out and he congratulates Sasha Banks on another successful defense of her Women's World Championship at Judgment Day. And Maverick says that Banks has gone through so many challenges that it's in his mind of who is next. And so he has decided to find the best challenger for Sasha Banks, to find the most deserving opponent for her. There's only one way to do it, he says. So he says that at Elimination Chamber, there will be an Elimination Chamber match between 6 of the best women Raw have to offer, and the winner of that will face Sasha Banks at WrestleMania for the Women's World Championship. And Maverick announces there will be contenders matches tonight. And on top of that, he announces that the losing team from Raw's Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Final between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair taking on Alexa Bliss and Zoey Stark, the losing team's members will also be in that chamber. Big announcements for Drake Maverick. The Elimination Chamber will decide who faces Banks at Mania. Sure to be electric. A 94 for this opening segment. Brilliant as ever from Sasha Banks. As then we have a little Judgment Day recap going over the Raw side of things, but especially highlighting Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly announcing at WrestleMania he will use his Royal Rumble win to face Adam Cole for the WWE Championship. The Undisputed Era well and truly falling to pieces. And it says at the end, Kyle O'Reilly will be live tonight to explain his decision for an 83. Good little promo segment here. Hopefully Kyle O'Reilly doing well later tonight with his explanation talk. As next up we have the first women's elimination, the first Raw Women's Elimination Chamber match. The number one contenders chamber match, as mentioned earlier, is Carmella taking on Lacey Evans. Carmella and Evans teaming up at the end of last year. Carmella turning on Evans though, and now the pair going one-on-one, and the first woman to qualify for that chamber is Carmella with the super kick for a 66, 61 Carmella, 51 Evans. Alright match. Carmella coming out on top, and Carmella books her spot in the Elimination Chamber, looking to get her opportunity at WrestleMania for that Women's World title with Sasha Banks. As then we go backstage, Kayla Braxton interviewing Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano, you know, disappointed about losing to Adam Cole at Judgment Day, but he says he may not be WWE Champion, but he is still Intercontinental Champion, and it is the honor of his life to wear this title proudly around his waist, over his shoulder. And he says that starting next week will be the Johnny Gargano Intercontinental Championship Open Challenge. Gargano says anyone wants to step up to the champ, anyone wants a shot at this prestigious championship, he'll be waiting for him for an 87. Big announcement, Johnny Gargano, the Intercontinental title Open Challenge next week. Who will step up? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, we have another chamber qualifying match. This time tag team action. It's the Sky Pirates, Kairi Sane and Io Shirai, taking on the Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Which 2 superstars will be booking their spot in the chamber in the end? The Sky Pirates do. Io Shirai pinning Billie Kay with that elbow drop moonsault combo for a 76. And Io Shirai and Kairi Sane will join Carmella in the chamber. 75s for both of the Sky Pirates, 52 Royce, 51k. Good match, happy with this. The chamber filling up rather quickly, as then we have another interview. Kayla Braxton interviewing the Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Men's Raw Final later tonight against Owens and Zayn. And Kayla asking Fish and Strong about Judgment Day, what will happen with Cole and O'Reilly. And Roderick Strong says that we're going to get to the bottom of this. He doesn't know why Kyle did what he did, why Kyle made this decision. He said that it's not too late. Kyle can change his mind if he wants to. And Bobby Fish saying that, you know, Undisputed is a brotherhood, yeah, but the WWE title, the top prize in the company, if that's what Kyle wants, that's what Kyle wants. Roderick and Bobby kind of arguing a little bit, but then just stopping, saying they're going to focus on their match later tonight for a 65. Maybe some tension brewing all over the Undisputed Era here, before we have the final of Raw's brackets of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It is Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair taking on Alexa Bliss and Zoey Stark. The winning team advancing to the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic final at Elimination Chamber, and the losing team will go into the Elimination Chamber match at Elimination Chamber. In the end, the team earning their spot in the inaugural Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic final is Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair forcing Stark to submit with that figure 8 leg lock. 4-81, Lynch and Flair book their ticket to the final. 82 Lynch, 76 Flair, 70 Bliss, 49 Stark. Happy with this. Good match. And it'll be Lynch and Flair in the Dusty Classic final, and Bliss and Stark join the chamber. So the chamber very full already. There's one more qualifying match, and I'll just go over the whole chamber instead of continually repeating it too much. As then we go backstage to Angel Garza being interviewed by Kayla Braxton. And Angel Garza makes it very clear. He says that he will be at Elimination Chamber, and he is challenging Edge to grow the balls it will take to come to that ring and go face to face with him. Garza says he's been waiting for this, but Edge hasn't been showing up since the Rumble. Cause maybe Edge is scared. Maybe Edge, instead of facing what he created, instead of stepping up like a man and going toe-to-toe with Angel Garza after what he did with him, maybe he's gone back into retirement. And if he's done that, then okay. But if Edge is still around, if Edge has the guts, then Garza says he'll be waiting for him, and he'll see him at the chamber for a 94. Good segment. Garza issuing that challenge to Edge to meet him face-to-face at Elimination Chamber, before we have the final qualifier for that Women's Elimination Chamber. Bayley taking on Ember Moon here, and in the end, Bayley comes out on top with the Bayley to belly. 476, 80 Bayley, 70 Moon. Good match, good ratings. And so the Women's Elimination Chamber to find the number 1 contender for Sasha Banks' Women's World title at WrestleMania is Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Carmella versus Io Shirai versus Kairi Sane versus Zoey Stark, who will get that opportunity at WrestleMania on the grandest stage in all against the Blueprint, the best, the boss, Sasha Banks. We'll have to wait and see. It's a stacked chamber, to be sure, though. As then we have an interview with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Kayla Braxton, not Kaden Carter. And Lynch and Flair say they're ready. They're coming for the Women's Dusty Cup. Another accomplishment to both of their long lists. And then they're coming for Naomi and Nia Jax at WrestleMania for that Women's Tag Team titles for a 77. Good promo. Happy with this. Lynch and Flair, the first team, booking their ticket to that final. As then another promo plays, this time advertising this Friday night on Smackdown, we will have the celebration of the man now dubbed the Legend Killer, Thaddeus Bullard, live on Smackdown. Bullard taking out Goldberg, giving himself a new nickname here that maybe if he was on Smackdown, Randy Orton wouldn't be too happy about. But still, for that celebration that we'll have to see later this episode, 83 for this segment. Good work here. As then we have the main event in the final of Raw's bracket of the Men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn taking on Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish of the Undisputed Era. And in the end, Strong and Fish having some disagreements, having some arguments, and their arguments maybe distract them, maybe their heads are not fully in it, and maybe that costs them. Because in the end, Kevin Owens hits Fish with his pop-up powerbomb and gets the victory. 4-90, once again, Kevin Owens smashing it as ever. 98 for him. 82 Zayn. 76 Strong. 76 Fish. Brilliant from everyone. And yeah, in the end, a 90 for the match. If it had gone longer than 13 minutes, it probably gets over 90. But, you know, I won't complain too much about another 90 rating. Kevin Owens on absolute fire this year. As then, Kyle O'Reilly, after the match, Kyle O'Reilly coming out to the open ring to make his talk. You know, he's going to address the fans. He says the Undisputed Era was meant to be a brotherhood, but past year or so, since going to SmackDown, since coming to Raw, it's been very clear that's not how Adam Cole views it anymore. He says that Adam Cole's been so full of himself, so focused on himself. Adam Cole, Universal Champion, Mr. Money in the Bank, World Heavyweight Champion, not caring about Fish or Strong, not caring about O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly says last year he had the year of his life. United States Champion, King of the Ring final, winning War Games, the opportunity to get a World Title match or Survivor Series, but no, Adam Cole wouldn't let him do that now, would he? Adam Cole convinced him not to do that because maybe because Adam Cole knew if O'Reilly got his shot, he'd have took that title off Adam Cole. But O'Reilly did not let him get him down, even when he lost it at Survivor Series when he could have had that world title shot, but no. And still, then going on, winning War Games for the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly getting no credit for that either from Adam Cole. And then Adam Cole putting Kyle O'Reilly in at number 1 in the Rumble. But you know what? Maybe that was meant to hold down Kyle. But Kyle did not let it do that. Instead, he let that fuel him. He let that power him. He went into that Rumble. He went number 1. He survived till 30. He won the whole damn thing, and he's going to WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania, he's taking that WWE Championship off of Adam Cole. Roderick Strong barging out, not very happy, saying to Cole, "Why did you do this? Why are you breaking us apart? You don't have to do this. You can change your mind." Bobby Fish coming out to defend Kyle O'Reilly, telling Roderick Strong to back down, to back off. This isn't about him. All three men arguing when Adam Cole sneaks out of nowhere into the ring and hits a super kick onto Kyle O'Reilly, taking him down. Fish confronting Cole about what the hell was that. Strong attacking Fish, smashing into him. Adam Cole looking down at him. Maybe thinking about breaking up, but choosing not to. Bobby Fish defending Kyle O'Reilly like that, when Kyle O'Reilly had the balls to challenge Adam Cole. Kyle O'Reilly getting to his feet though and attacking Cole, beating him down once again, just like Judgment Day, whilst he's distracted watching Fish and Strong fight. Strong gets to his feet and drags Kyle O'Reilly off of Adam Cole. Kyle storming into Roderick Strong. Cole attacking O'Reilly. Fish attacking Cole. A massive brawl breaks out, eventually having to be broken apart by security, by road agents. Cole and Strong on the ramp looking to the ring. Fish and O'Reilly in the ring looking back at them. 4:93 here. The Undisputed Era has well and truly imploded following Kyle O'Reilly's WrestleMania announcement. Absolute war here. The line in the sand has been drawn. The sides have been chosen here. Fish maybe very clearly aligning with Kyle O'Reilly, his re-Dragon partner, his Undisputed Era Tag Team champ multiple times. The man, they won it together. Strong aligning with Cole, clearly having issue of O'Reilly's decision to choose Adam Cole, blaming Kyle for breaking apart the Undisputed Era like this. The sides have been drawn. A 93, like I said, brilliant end segment. Overall, this episode of Raw gets a 91. Amazing episode. No complaints. The Women's Chamber is set. Raw's participants for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals have been set. Increased our pop in 22 regions. What an episode. The build up to the Chamber, the fallout from Judgment Day. Raw smashing out of the park as usual. And hopefully, we'll have another really good rating next up with another episode of NXT. And NXT gets underway here with the NXT champion Chad Gable making his way out to the ring. Chad Gable in the ring gets on the mic. He beat AJ Styles at Judgment Day. He is still your NXT champion. And now he's looking to what is next. Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania. And he announces that he has spoken to General Manager William Regal. And he is out here right now to announce that at the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event, there will be an Elimination Chamber match, and the winner of that will face Chad Gable at WrestleMania for the NXT Championship. Then Chad Gable invites Randy Orton, his mentor, out. Orton coming out, Orton having returned at the Rumble, having beaten Thatcher finally at Judgment Day. Gable congratulates Orton, says it's great to have him back. for telling Orton that, having come back, having defeated Thatcher, telling him that he is in the chamber for the 100. Gable announcing the Contenders Chamber, telling Orton he's in it. And then Orton and Gable, they shake hands, and then Gable just whispers to Orton, I hope you win it. Gable rooting for his mentor Orton here. Orton will be entering the chamber. Orton has entered the chamber so many times. I think he's entered, I want to say 6 times. There's something around there, like 6 to 8, and he's only ever won 1. So going for another one here this year when he enters the structure with a opportunity at Chad Gable's NXT title on the line, the 100 for the opening segment, very good. And then we have a little promo from Velveteen Dream's little group, Dream, Loomis, and of course the new NXT North American Champion Isaiah Swerve Scott. And Dream says they're ready for tonight. He says all 3 men have chamber qualifying matches, and Dream says they're going to the chamber, and then the Dream will be going to WrestleMania to win the NXT title. He says Scott is the NXT North American Champion. Congratulations. Him having this gold allows Dream to set his sights higher, because Dream is not a North American champion. He's a world champion, and he's going to earn his way into the chamber. He's going to win the chamber. He's going to Mania, and he will become NXT's world champion for an 86. Good promo from these guys as usual. As then we have NXT's brackets final for the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It is the Black Hartwell Tank Express, Indy Hartwell and Shotzi Blackheart, taking on #trending's own Buffer Than Your Boyfriend, the pairing of Persia Pirotta and Tiffany Stratton, joined by #trending, the one-man walking highlight reel, Reggie. You got Mr. #trending himself, Grayson Waller, and also All Ego Ethan Page, having made his debut last week, costing Carmelo Hayes the NXT North American title. The 2 teams go at it. Buff and your boyfriend look like maybe they may have it here with their strength advantage when DFG's music hits and they come out. Hayes, Williams, a go-go storming into trending at ringside, providing a distraction, and in the end that distraction leads to Shotzi Blackheart and Hartwell hitting Stratton with a missile driver, and Blackheart picking up the pin for the win. The Black Hartwell Tank Express earns their spot in the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic final. A 51 for the match, decent match. I mean, considering the 51 Blackheart, 48 Indy, and then, I mean, Tiffany and Persia, very new. A 39 for Persia, very good, I'd say. And the 27 from Tiffany, also doing well. As it's a 51 after the match, following that distraction, that interference from DFG. After the match, Black Hartwell Tank Express, they celebrate. They are in the final. They've had their problems, but they work together here in this tournament, and they've come out on top. And they're in the final, alongside Becky and Charlotte and one more team to be decided later for the 61. Yep, just a little post-match celebration for these 2, earning their spot. As then we have a promo from Raquel Gonzalez, and she says she's had enough. She's had enough of LeRae, and she's had enough of Knox, and she issues a challenge. A triple threat match at Elimination Chamber, Gonzalez, LeRae, Knox, so she can deal with both of them once and for all for a 77. The challenge issued out by the women's champ, will they accept? We'll have to wait and see. Well, we have an Elimination Chamber qualifying match between Damian Priest taking on Dexter Loomis here. And in the end, with Dream and Scott at ringside, it's not enough, as Priest picks up the victory, hits the South of Heaven on Loomis, and gets the win for an 80. Really good match, considering 75 Priest, 61 Loomis. And Damian Priest earns his spot alongside Orton in the chamber. Then we have a little promo from Styles and Andrade, who will be fighting in a chamber qualifier in the main event. An 86 for this. Both men are ready. Both men, I mean, it should be a really good match, shouldn't it? AJ Styles and Andrade. Will it be? Who knows, but hopefully it will be in their chamber qualifier. As then we have another one. Next up, it is Cesaro taking on the NXT North American Champion Isaiah Swerve Scott. And in the end, Swerve gets the win with the 450 splash. A 64. The 2 men didn't seem to click, sadly. 59 Cesaro, 50 Scott. I mean, them not clicking really brought this down, didn't it? Only a 64, but it's the North American champ Scott keeps up this good run of form. He earns his spot in the chamber. As then we go backstage to Timothy Thatcher storming into Regal's office. Thatcher wants into the chamber, but Regal says no. Regal says Thatcher is lucky to still have a job, let alone going around making demands like this. No, that's not how this works. Regal says that Thatcher, for everything he's done, attacking Orton. I mean, he lost to Orton at Judgment Day. Thatcher doesn't have the right to just storm around here and make demands. And Regal says if Thatcher wants in the chamber, he can take part in the Battle Royale next week for the 6th competitor against all those other superstars. He won't get a one-on-one match. He'll be in the Battle Royale. If he wins that, then sure, he can go in the chamber, but he doesn't want any complaining from him for 56. Good little promo backstage here for these two. Thatcher will be entering that Battle Royale Chamber qualifier next week. As then Velveteen Dream in the ring ready. Loomis didn't qualify, but Scott did. Can Dream do so? Dream is ready when it's revealed his opponent will be Karrion Kross. And he does not look happy with that. For an 82, Kross made his return at Judgment Day, attacking Priest, getting in the brawl with Balor as well. And now the former NXT champion looking to qualify for the chamber. And he does. Locking the Kross jacket on Dream, making pretty short work of him for a 75. 75's Kross, 76 Dream. Good match as Karrion Kross earns his spot in the Elimination Chamber with Orton, Scott and Priest filling out quickly. Kross and Priest will be in the structure together, which is a recipe for disaster, it feels like. As after the match, Kross standing tall over the Dream when Damian Priest rushes out and attacks him, and that's who brawl it out backstage for an 82. Clearly still having their problems. Priest beating Kross at War Games, Kross attacking Priest at Judgment Day. It does not look like it's over from them, and they'll be going into the chamber. Will they be able to resolve their issues in there? God only knows. But next up, we have the final in the NXT bracket of the Men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It is Team DFG, destined for greatnesses. Eli Cassidy and Marcus Redden, formerly known as Private Party, taking on the Mysterios, Dominic and Ray. And the two teams have a great match, but in the end, it's the Mysterios who stamp their ticket to the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic final with the double 619 for a 74. 85 Mysterio, 70s for Redden and Cassidy, 42 Dominic. Good match. Marcus Redden sustained a broken frontal bone. Hopefully, he won't be out for too long with that. But it's the Mysterios, in the end, who earned their spot in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic final with Owens and Zayn. And after the match, the two teams showing some respect before Redden is helped to the back by medics. And hopefully will not be out for too long, Marcus Redden. 71 for that segment here. Before we have the main event, which hopefully will be very good. Elimination Chamber qualifier between the phenomenal one AJ Styles and the Cruiserweight champion Andrade, and the two men. It's not a long match. It's just quick action, fast-paced, high-flying. Both men want to earn their spot in that chamber. They want the world title. AJ wants another shot at Gable. Andrade wants another title round his waist. Both men going for it, but in the end, MSK's music hits. Trey Griffin comes out, making his return, providing a distraction here onto Andrade. And that distraction allows AJ Styles to hit the phenomenal forearm and pick up the win for a 90. Once again, if this match had gone 20 minutes, it would have got above 90 probably, but still a 90. Amazing work from these two. 93 Andrade, 88 AJ Styles. Very, very happy with this. As following Trey Griffin's return and distraction, AJ Styles gets the win and earns his spot in the chamber. So at the moment, that NXT Championship Contenders Chamber is Orton, Priest, Scott, Kross and Styles. A battle royale to decide the 6th competitor next week. A stacked chamber. A great show of NXT here. Overall rating of 91. Amazing work. 32 increase in pop. I'm very happy. Another good show in this fallout from Judgment Day and this build up to the chamber. And hopefully we'll have one more next up with another episode of Smackdown. And Smackdown gets underway with Paige in her office. Knock on the door. Bullard and Heyman walk in. Heyman says that Paige asked to speak to them. And Paige informs Thaddeus Bullard and Paul Heyman that at the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event, there will be an Elimination Chamber match, the winner of which will face Thaddeus Bullard for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. And Bullard and Heyman are, fine, whatever. And Paige says that one more thing about it. I just want to inform you that one man has very clearly, to me, at the very least, earned a spot in this chamber, and so he's already in it. and Paige informs Bullard that Miss Bronson Reed's already qualified for his win against Reigns, but there's another superstar who to me has already earned a spot, who's already done enough to get into this chamber, and so I am just simply informing you here, Bullard and Heyman, that Keith Lee will be in the Elimination Chamber match. And Bullard and Heyman not happy about this. Bullard saying that Keith Lee being handed another opportunity to earn a shot at various Bullard. I mean, he keeps failing, and yet Paige keeps rewarding him. I mean, what is this? And Paige said she thought we might say this, so she says that she's going to give Bullard something to even the odds to make him happier. So she says that every member of the Bullard brand will have a qualifying match to get into the chamber. LA Knight, Cameron Grimes, Apollo Crews, and Socrates Torres will all have the opportunity to qualify to the chamber. And Bullard says that's not good enough, and Paige says fine. One member can go in without being qualified. Keith Lee gets in without a qualifying match. One member of the Bullard brand can get into the chamber without qualifying. You can make that decision. And Paige Bullard says fine, I choose Apollo Crews. And so for a 100, the Universal Title Contenders Chamber announced we'll have 3 qualifiers tonight because Bronson Reed's already qualified. And on top of that, Paige inserting Keith Lee, Bullard choosing Crews to go in. All 3 other members of the Bullard brand, Grimes, Socrates Torres, and LA Knight will have an opportunity to qualify. Like I said, the 100 for this brilliant segment, by the way. But opening the show is a chamber qualifier, featuring Cameron Grimes with Bullard brand going to the ring, looking happy, ready for this. When it's revealed his opponent will be Samoa Joe. And he doesn't look too happy about that, to be honest with you. Joe and Grimes going at it. Grimes trying, but it's a bit one-sided. And in the end, Samoa Joe picks up the win with the coquina clutch, choking Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes out cold. A 64. They didn't seem to click, sadly, so that really brought this rating down. But 57 for each man. Could be worse, as Samoa Joe books his spot in the Elimination Chamber match. Joe getting his arm raised and kicking Grimes out of the ring. Cameron Grimes just laying unconscious at ringside here. As then next up we have this segment, and it just shows Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir taken out backstage, and No Mercy standing over them. Shayna Baszler, involved in orchestrating this attack on her 4 Horsewomen of MMA former partners after Duke and Shafir aligned with Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey, after she chose to use her WrestleMania opportunity on Shayna Baszler. 51 for this backstage segment. As then next up we have the final of SmackDown's bracket, the men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Ace Austin and King Corbin taking on the Hardy Boys here, and the team that will join Owens and Zayn and the Mysterios in the final is the Hardy Boys. For a 79, good match. Jeff pinning Corbin with the extreme combination in the end. 84 Jeff, 69 Corbin, 62 Austin, 60 Matt. Good match here as the Hardy Boys earn their spot in the final. Hardy Boys, Mysterios, Owens and Zayn's brothers versus father and son versus best friends. Who is going to win the Dusty Cup? Who's going to get a tag title match of their choosing at WrestleMania? As then we go backstage and we have Kofi Kingston wishing Big E luck. Big E in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match next up with LA Knight. And Kingston says he knows that they've been focused on this Xavier Woods stuff recently, but he knows that this started with Big E losing his Universal title. And Kingston wishes him luck, says he knows Big E can win, he hopes Big E wins, gets his chance to win back that title he never should have lost at WrestleMania against Bullard for an 84. Leading next up, Big E versus LA Knight in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. And Big E at one point, towards the end, having LA Knight up on his shoulder, ready for the big ending, when the Titantron turns on and you see Kofi Kingston laid out backstage. Big E a bit distracted by this. LA Knight fighting off his shoulder, going for the BFT, but Big E picking him up again and laying him out with the big ending, covering him for a 1 and a 2. But then out of nowhere, Xavier Woods pulls the ref out of the ring, breaking the count. The referee arguing with Woods, but Big E having enough, going out of the ring, chasing Woods down. Woods rolling back into the ring. Big E doing the same. Woods trying to leave, but Big E catching him and lifting him up. Big E holding Xavier Woods by the scruff of his neck. Finally getting his hands on Woods like this. When out of nowhere, from behind, LA Knight is up and he hits the BFT on Big E for the win for an 84. 85 Big E, 69 LA Knight. Good match. And it's LA Knight who qualifies for the Chamber. 2 members of the Bullard brand have booked their space in that Chamber match now. Like I said, the 84 for the match. After the match, LA Knight gets his arm raised as Woods taunts Big E for an 88. Knight's booked his spot, and Woods has cost Big E an opportunity to earn a shot to get his title back. Good work here. Good match. Good post-match segment. I'm happy. As next up, we have the final in the Smackdown bracket of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Who will earn a spot in the inaugural final alongside Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and the Black Hartwell Tank Express, Shotzi Blackheart and Indy Hartwell. At some point, I'll be able to just say that name without having to think about it for 5 seconds, I promise. It's Doudrop and Miriam taking on No Mercy. No Mercy teaming for longer, in control, when, of course, the music of Ronda Rousey hits. Bad reputation. She storms out. She goes for Shayna Baszler. The two brawling out, but also providing a distraction, which Doudrop uses to take out Toyo Conte, hit the elevator drop, and get the win. Doudrop and Mia Yim book their spot in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic final, the inaugural Women Tournament final at that, for a 70. Decent match. 74 Sonya, 57 Tay, 53 Doudrop, 43 Yim. Happy with this. No Mercy took out Shafir and Duke, and Ronda Rousey has cost No Mercy their spot in the Women's Dusty Cup final. Very much not done between these two units. As then we have a promo from one Bronson Reed. And Bronson Reed says at Judgment Day he beat Roman Reigns and now he's going to the Chamber. And he's seen the people who are already in it. Samoa Joe, who he's had battles with these past few months. Keith Lee, a man he has a lot of time and respect for. Was LA Knight, Apollo Crews, big names, big superstars. But Bronson Reed says that this is his time, this is his moment. He didn't win the Rumble, but he's going to the Chamber. And he says that he doesn't care what he has to do, who he has to beat. He doesn't care if he has to climb to the roof of the Chamber and hit a tsunami from there. He's going to WrestleMania for that 90. Great promo as ever from Bronson Reed. Brilliant promos, honestly. As it's time for the main event, the final Chamber qualifying match. Socrates Torres makes his entrance. 2 members of the Blood brand have qualified. He's looking to make it 3. And his opponent for this main event is... Yes, John Cena is back for an 82. Cena looking to earn a spot in the Chamber, earn a shot at the Universal title at WrestleMania. It's John Cena versus Socrates Torres in the main event. And in the end, John Cena comes out on top. After a brilliant match between the pair that goes about 20 minutes, Cena hits an AA and picks up the victory for a 94. Brilliant match between these two, as you'd expect, honestly. 92 Cena, 74 Torres. Torres going toe-to-toe with Cena in the ring, but John Cena coming out on top and earning a spot in the Chamber. The Elimination Chamber will be John Cena versus Keith Lee versus Samoa Joe versus Bronson Reed versus Apollo Crews versus LA Knight. A stacked chamber where the winner of which will earn a shot at the Universal title at WrestleMania against Thaddeus Bullard. Elimination Chamber, the whole event stacking up beautifully. And speaking of things stacking up, it's announced that next week, The Rock will be on Smackdown to discuss Roman Reigns. The Rock's music providing a distraction that cost Roman Reigns the Rumble. The Rock's interference costing Reigns that match at Judgment Day against Reed. For an 89, it is announced that The Rock will be on SmackDown next week to discuss Roman Reigns. I mean, great segment. It's The Rock. What do you expect? As finally, it's time for the celebration of the legend killer, Thaddeus Bullard. And Bullard's in the ring with his Bullard brand members, Heyman, Knight, Cruz, Torres and Bourbon. Cameron Grimes is still unconscious at ringside, if you're wondering. He's been out cold there the entire show after being choked out by Samoa Joe. But we have this celebration. Heyman does his introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the advocate for your reigning, defending, undefeated, undisputed, universal heavyweight champion of the world, Thaddeus Bullard. And Bullard says that He's earned this nickname, the Legend Killer, because that's what he is. Because since back when he was the Intercontinental Champion, what's happened? Kane stepped up, and I put him down for good. The Big Show stepped up, and I put him down for good. The Undertaker stepped up on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania, his playground, and I put him down, buried the corpse, and he hasn't been seen since, has he? Mark Henry wanted to step up. I put him down for good, didn't I? And now the latest in a long, long line, Goldberg steps up at Judgment Day, and what happens? Thaddeus Bullard puts him down for good. Because it's just that simple, isn't it? Thaddeus Bullard is on top. He's the Universal Champion. It's staying that way. Put as many people as you want in that chamber page. Put whoever the hell you want in there too. It doesn't matter. Because whoever I face at WrestleMania, the only thing they're going to be tasting is defeat. Because I am the Universal Champion, and I'm always going to be, because no one can step up to me.
I'm the greatest to ever do it, nobody do it better. Committed, I never quit it, I'm doing this forever. The greatest to ever.
And yes, the music of Carmelo Hayes and DFG hits, and they come out, Bullard giving a kind of odd face, and Bullard gets on the mic and says, "Who the hell are you?" And Hayes says that that's okay. Obviously, up in your ivory tower at the top of the universe like that, you probably don't watch NXT, so you probably don't know me, the former NXT North American Champion Carmelo Hayes, and that's okay. You'll know me soon enough, trust me. And Bullard says that, listen here, kid, you want me to knock your ass out, I'll do it. Come down to this ring and I'll do it right now. And Hayes saying that someday he'll get in that ring with Bullard, someday he'll shut his mouth, someday he'll have that Universal Championship. Mark his words, but that's another day. For today, him and DFG, they aren't here to fight Bullard. They just know how the Bullard brand love to use the numbers game. And so, they're here to provide some support and provide some backup so that, well, so that a certain someone can have a fair shot at Bullard.
Step up, bring it. Yes, sir. Somebody gon' get their ass kicked. Somebody gon' get their wings split.
Yes, Mark Henry is back, not seen since Super Showdown, where he was meant to fight Thaddeus Bullard for the Intercontinental title, but Bullard took him out before that match, and he was too injured to compete then, and he's been out, not seen since. He showed up briefly at the end of last year, introducing DFG to Anthony Ogogo and Jade Cargill, who joined their group. But now, returning here, you know, fist bump to Carmelo Hayes wearing his drippy gear, fist bump to Anthony Ogogo wearing a nice suit, and then they go down to the ring. DFG storming down ahead of them, Bullard brand meeting them at the bottom of the ramp, big brawl out. LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes going at it, Cruz going at it with Cassidy. Everyone's going at it here. And it brawling all around the ring. You have a moment where Cameron Grimes finally gets to his feet. He's like, where am I? And then he turns around and Anthony Ogogo immediately punches him in the face. And Cameron Grimes goes down, knocked out once again, having been knocked out the entire show already. And Thaddeus Bullard looking around, then finally turns back. And Mark Henry's in the ring. And it's just those two and Paul Heyman. And Thaddeus Bullard undoes his suit, takes it off, hands it to Heyman, hands him the Universal title, and tells Paul to leave, as Bullard and Mark Henry get in it. The two men brawling it out here, going to absolute war. This has been building for so long. This has been building really ever since Survivor Series 2020, when Bullard turned on Mark Henry and aligned with Paul Heyman. And Heyman and Bullard going at it, Bullard going for the Bullard boot, but Mark Henry kind of dropping down a bit, grabbing Bullard, and then just kind of lifting him up and tossing him over the rope and out of the ring. Bullard on the floor on the outside, Henry standing tall. The Bullard brand all making quick work of leaving, with Bullard up the ramp to the top of the ramp as DFG get in the ring with Mark Henry posing. Mark Henry is back. A 100 for that first segment, the actual celebration. And then I always forget to do this when I do stuff like this. An 89 for DFG's interruption, and then Mark Henry coming out. And then for that big brawl at the end, it gets a 70. All fine with me. Really good show here. Mark Henry standing tall, him and Bullard staring down. Bullard thought he had dealt with Henry for good, but it seems Mark Henry's come back and wants Thaddeus Bullard still. Very good ending to the show. I was glad to get DFG on here as well, an introduction on SmackDown. I'm a big fan of all of them, really. And I did enjoy the Cameron Grimes nonsense. As overall, this episode of SmackDown gets a 95. Incredible show. Really good end segments with the Thaddeus Bullard stuff, as well as that main event between Cena and Torres for a 94. Absolutely incredible show. Increased up on 55 regions. Very happy. As I say the fallout from Judgment Day, but very largely just the build-up to Elimination Chamber has been incredible this week. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then leave a like. And if you're looking forward to the go-home shows for the Chamber next week and the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, where we find out a lot of stuff for WrestleMania, then please do subscribe to the channel for more. And thank you for watching.